more to come. Shehzad, should we even start talking about what happened to Houston in Sugarland in the last 4 days?
Oh my.
It has been a roller coaster for a lot of people. First waiting for it, then waiting for power, then waiting for internet, then waiting for Wi-Fi, waiting for cellular service, waiting for gas at gas stations, waiting for food at fast food joints at Mickey D's and Whataburgers, like 3 hour long lines. It has been crazy, but it hasn't stopped, Shehzad. Still over 1 million people in Houston as of today, like Thursday, are without power.
So you mentioned Sugarland as well. Can we define what is Sugarland? Because even when I came in through the airport from Ellis Island in the 1700s, the gentleman didn't know where Sugarland is.
They didn't know where Sugarland is at like IAH?
Exactly. No, I stopped by at Atlanta.
Yeah, I understand if they didn't know. But obviously they know. And especially if you're a brown person. I mean, they know you're from Sugarland, they see land if you're a brown person, like straight up. They know that's where you're from because most of them live in towards the, like the west part, the south part, and majority the southwest part of Houston. Now, Shehzad, I'm going to have a little graph right here on the screen or is picture mein. Okay, I've lost everything. Okay, and we gotta go in right now. So a satellite map of what Houston looked after the power failures. And this was so powerful, and I thought, it's a great idea to share with everybody. And the only way to share with everybody would be to actually bring it up on the screen. So on the screen right here is the map of the city of Houston after it lost power. These satellite images actually show the widespread of power loss across Houston when, Hurricane Beryl made landfall. And we were thinking it was not going to be huge. Well, it has been huge when it comes to a lot of people are asking, why? We're the energy capital of the United States of America. Like, why is it that we have power failures?
Absolutely.
It's because those crazy winds up to 90 miles per hour are going to knock down those power poles and those trees that are going to knock down those wires, those power cables, and hence we are not going to have power. So now center point needs to go in all these small little areas, like all of it, and test it all and see where it's gone bad and where they need to fix it. Some people were lucky. We were very lucky. We were very lucky because we got power pretty soon. But even right now, we have people who are actually waiting for it. There are cooling stations all around Houston, and about 1,000 people are actually staying at these cooling stations overnight. Now, another big problem that is happening, Shehzad, is that the advisory to boil water. So you cannot just drink the water anymore. You need to boil it. But if you don't have power, how do you boil your water? So you have no phone, nothing's charging, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no internet, there's no cell service. You cannot even navigate your way to a cooling station. You cannot even search for the cooling stations near you. This is how bad it is for some of the people. We've had, of course, a lot of lives that were lost, and 7 people died in Texas. Not just that, one of them was this lady right here. She was in her home, and the tree actually fell on her home. And this is her, and she's 73 years old, and this is how the tree fell on the house. And her family is, of course, very sad. Not just that, a total of $28 billion. This is how much it's going to take to recover from Hurricane Beryl. And this is just a Category 1 hurricane. Shehzad, it was your first hurricane. Share with us your experience. How was it?
It was actually... it happened overnight, and in the morning, I mainly got to see the after effects. It did wake me up in the morning, roughly like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock with the lightning, and I love lightning. But yeah, frankly speaking, it was okay. Do I sound bad saying that since everyone is going through such a rough time?
Right.
It was fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Texas governor actually was not in the U.S. during Hurricane Beryl hitting. And he was not here in the U.S. and he's getting a lot of criticism for that because he was in Asia.
The mayor?
The governor of the state of Texas.
Gotcha. The mayor's been very active, though. I've seen him.
Yes. John Whitmire's been very active.
Yep.
But Greg Abbott was not even in the country. And Biden has saying that no one's asking for aid and we do not know how to help Texas. So now
Wait, is this like Mexico?
this is like Pakistan, really. And not just that, Texas Governor Greg Abbott calls for an investigation into Houston power outages after Hurricane Beryl. You know, this reminds me of Pakistan, PTV News. Like, it's like taftish ki jayegi is मामले की. They're going to do an investigation on this matter. And जिन लोगों ने ये साजिश की है, उनको किरदार तक पहुंचाया जाएगा. Whoever has conspired to do this will be punished and penalized. This is so familiar.
Yeah.
It's so familiar in politics. All over the world it's like that. Now this is something that will take weeks and weeks to recover from. And Shehzad, I was actually I was trying to look up like a whole map of this Hurricane Beryl. I actually wanted to see, the kind of journey it took to get to us. And I found this photo and I'm going to share it with you guys here. So this starting point, the green dot in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, that's where it started. And it took 3,000 miles for it to get to Houston Sugarland. But it's not stopping there because as you can see, it started over here somewhere. And then it turned into a Category 4 storm hitting Barbados and then hitting Mexico and then hitting Houston. And now it's going all the way up. So this, we did not really think it was huge, but Hurricane Beryl has been huge.
Wow.
So what is the news that you are seeing?
I was actually thinking, Leena.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember back in the day, all the hurricanes were named after women?
I mean, that was really not back in the day.
Yeah.
That was more like whoever is the person who is actually, looking and working.
I see.
And-
That's how they're named.
Yeah, and actually they kind of go alphabetical as well now. That's what I just recently learned. So we had Alberto earlier this year, and now we have Beryl. So it's two guys. Are you waiting for a woman to come and storm your life?
I like the good old days whereby all the storms were, aptly named after women. It just sounded right. Katrina, Rita, they will mess you up, mate. Alberto, what's he gonna do, man? Beryl, bless him. He's all right. He's working 9 to 5.
Times have changed.
7 days.
We had Harvey too, if you're forgetting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I do not know any woman named Harvey. And Ike. Who was Ike? Was that
Ike was Tina Turner's abusive husband.
Okay, so we had Hurricane Ike as well.
Yeah, okay.
Or maybe
Ike,
it's
fair
they.
enough. I concede as a man. I concede Ike was aptly named. Yeah, I'm just trying to see the bright side of this. I know there's been so much that's happened because of this hurricane, so many lives affected as well.
Right.
And we hope that everyone, and I'm watching the telly, I'm watching the TV, and I'm thinking, how are people getting this transmission? If they're telling, if you don't have power, then get to this place. It's like, hey, if I don't have power, how am I watching this?
Right. You just like, that's what I did. I just kind of started driving around. Me and Farooq, we were just driving around and we figured out after a certain point, there's a certain area where we could get cell service. And then when we had cell service, we had a little bit of internet and then we were looking at it and then we were getting messages. Oh, we've got light over here. Gas is here. Hot coffee here. We did that. We went out for hot coffee. We didn't find any though, but for next time.